I've just pulled up back at the place where we're doing the bathroom renovation. The van is full of bathroom gear. I've got the key in my pocket, and as far as I'm aware, I've had no phone call to say not, but Nathan and Matty, the tilers, finished the tiling yesterday. So let's have a bit of a look. Yep. There we go, sorted. So walls are done, floor's done, underfloor heating matting is in. So what we're going to be doing today is getting the toilet in, getting the basin in, shower screen. As I said before, the shower is just coming off the bath taps. We're going to put a riser up, get an extra long hose, and get the bath panel on. Right, let's go and get stuff out of the van, because I picked it up from Plumbase last night to save me going first thing this morning. There's the taps, and there you go. Let's get all this unloaded into there, let's get my tools off, and start fitting this bathroom back in. Right, welcome back to the channel. Hope everybody is doing well. This is the fourth and final part of this bathroom renovation. Now, if you've been following it, it's part 1, 2 and 3. You know what we've come up against on it. We've uncovered or kicked a can of worms. We uncovered a load of pipe work that was just a bit of a pain in the arse, if I'm honest, at the start. But we've sorted all that out. We've got it boarded. We've now had, well, you wait and see, we've now had it tiled. And for what is quite a basic suite, the transformation is brilliant. You know, from what we took out with the B-Day in it and a complete different layout to what we've got now. The customer went for a fairly straightforward setup, pedestal and basin, which is quite rare now. Most people have vanity units, but they've gone pedestal, basin, standalone toilet and cistern, P-shaped bath, shower, taps with the shower off the taps, screen, etc, etc. So take a look, let me know what you think. As I've said before, we are also doing the bathroom in the new build part of this job, so that's going to come in possibly a couple of months time. So now they're happy with the new bathroom, and we're getting ready to hand it over to the customer. So as always, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and I will catch you next week when we go back. And I've done it, I filmed it, I did it a couple of days ago, the job where we had to put the 2 radiators in and the house hadn't been filled up. So that will be quite an interesting one. That'll be coming next week. As always, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, drop me a comment below, let me know what you think. It's the final outcome of this bathroom now that we're just about ready to hand it over to the customer. Right, I'll let you get on with it. I'll catch you soon. So I've got my gear in, I've got my drills on charge over the back there, and we can now begin to start getting in toilet, cistern, as I said, basin and the bits on the bath. I always like to lay everything out. When I start a bathroom, like second fix and getting everything in, I want to make sure I've got everything in place. So we've got that laid out there. We're going to start with the cistern. I've just unboxed the cistern. It's got a strange little lip on the front. I've never seen one like that, so I'm assuming that the lid will sit flush with that. But you're going to have the lip on the top as opposed to down the side, but I guess it is what it is. We'll make the cistern up with the bits that are supplied. We'll get it bolted onto the pan. Obviously we've got the soil pipe coming in there, and we've got the 15mm feed coming in that side. Quickly, just to address this, in a previous video people were saying, I can't believe you haven't put isolation valves on these pipes coming out in the first fix. There's no point in bringing them up, putting an elbow, bringing it up, putting an isolation valve on both of them, because Nate is then not going to be able to get his tile over. The reason I leave them like that, the holes can be cut, the tile can go over, same with that one. And then on the second fix, I've drained the water down already, elbow, 2 isolator valves, and away you go. And also I will put some talon covers on those pipes as well. So let's crack on with this, let's get this system made up and bolted onto the pan. So it's just your basic normal siphon, whip the bottom off it, like so, and just feed it into position in the system, tighten it up on the bottom. Same with the fill valve, again, we'll swap that out. And then these 2 other lugs here are obviously for where it bolts down onto the actual pan itself. So we'll get this made up, and then I'll show you how we'll go about fitting the pan and the L brackets that always come with it. There's a certain way that I fit these to stop any sort of sliding or movement in them. So what I am going to do, with this cistern is this is the one that comes with it. It's got a plastic thread on the bottom, and as we all know, I'm not really a big fan of them. So I'm going to swap it for the Dudley HydroFlow compact valve with the brass bottom on the end, just because we know from experience plastic threaded ends on these ball valves can be an absolute pain. So we'll fit this HydroFlow into this system and get it all connected up. Right, we're at the stage where I'm going to mark up where the bottom of this pan is going to go. Now, the way I do it, there's loads of different ways that people do this for the same result. What I do, we've got the pan into position. If you remember from one of the previous videos, we wanted it centre of that line of the window. So we've marked it up. You see that? I'll just come to the left a little bit. We've marked the middle of the pan and the middle of the wall where exactly where it's going to go. So what we're going to do is mark along the front edge there, and then just mark where the hole is. Same this side. Mark there and mark exactly where the hole is. Then what we can do, we can pull the pan out because we've got to offer in the L brackets. So we've got the pan out, and this is where the L brackets have got to go. However, we've got to measure the thickness that, this is the edge of the pan, but obviously underneath, inside the pan, I don't know if you can see it, this lip here is this distance that bracket has got to be set back. So we've got to measure the distance underneath there. This is handy where the Unilite tape measure comes in because it's got it marked on the bottom. So if we put that lip on there, it's give or take 30 mil. So we've got to measure from this line in 30 mil, both sides, and then with that lining up to the centre of where we're going to bolt it, we know exactly where these brackets can go. So they're measured in now at 30 mil. What I do with these, you can either put one bolt in the middle, but what I found is sometimes when you're screwing in the pan at the side, this can move around, or even when you're pushing the pan into position, if it's just pivoting on that one screw hole in the middle, they can be knocked out of line there. So what I do is I'll drill a hole here and a hole here, just so you've got 2 points in that bracket bolted down with 2 screws, so you know they're not going to go anywhere. So I'll get these drilled out and bolted into place, and I'll show you exactly what I mean. Right, I know we've had loads of new subscribers to the channel that probably won't have seen these drill bits. Now, if you drill tiles, these are really soft tiles, but these are porcelain tiles on the floor, and we all know you buy the drill bit from the merchants, it's like 15 quid, and it lasts like 10 holes or something like that, and it burns out. These are from eBay. I think they're about 6 quid, 6 or 7 quid for 10. I've just drilled them 3 holes with that, just onto the 4th one now. I'll show you just how easy it goes through. If I can find the mark that I've made, there it is. Obviously keep them nice and wet. There we go. So I've drilled all 4 of them with them £6 drill bits from eBay. At the end of the day, if they last you, you know, 3 or 4 bathrooms for 6 quid as opposed to buying one for 15, 20 quid. So I'll put a link in the description. I just happened to fall on them because I was sick of buying drill bit after drill bit that just gets burnt out. So I went on eBay, I went 6 quid, sod it, I'll give it a go. Ordered them, and they've been blinding bits. So every time I do a bathroom, or every time I drill into tiles, I always say about these, and everybody asks where I get them from. I'll put the link in the description below. I'm not sponsored by them. I think they come from China or somewhere like that. They're 6 quid. eBay, can't go wrong. So we've drilled them holes out now, and then we can put that and that one there, get them bolted in place, and we know they are going absolutely nowhere. So we've got the pan pushed into position now. We're going to offer the cistern on the top so that we can mark where the 2 bolt points are on the back. So we'll offer it up. I've put a little flexi on there. We'll offer it up once we've made these little bolts into it, because when we put it on, we're going to have to tighten it down to get the 2 screw holes exactly where they need to go. That's the cistern on the top. So if we just ease it back to the wall and then mark, you can get a pencil in, mark exactly where we've got to screw through, drill through, screw through, and get it bolted back. So the toilet's all in now, bolted in. I've just put got the caps to put on, the little screws in the side, but it's all in, connected up, piped up. I've just got to get a shroud as well for around them pipes. And I'll put the same on there. But we're now onto the basin. I've just made the tap in. Straightforward enough, we all know how to make a tap in. We've got the waste now, and as everyone will know, I always bin the washers off and silicone the wastes in. It's always what I've done. I've never had a problem with it, so that's the way I like to do it. So we'll get the waste made up into this, get the pedestal in position, mark up where the basin's got to go, then we can just cut the pipes, get isolators on there and begin fitting this basin and pedestal into position. So I'll just get my waste like that and put a nice little bead of silicone around the top. You can always wipe off what we don't use, and then just make it into the top of the basin and push it into position. And then what I'll do, I'll just put a bead of silicone around there as well. Then when the nut tightens onto it, it will completely seal it up. So now with the basin made up, we'll offer the pedestal into position. Obviously the pipe work's going to be behind it, and then what we'll do, if I can put that there, we'll drop the basin on the top, and then we can offer it exactly where it's going to go. I swear these basins get heavier. So we've got to come a little bit further forward. There's usually like a recess in the basin where the pedestal sits, but this one doesn't seem to have one. It seems to sit quite far out actually. Let me try. So what you can do is just pull the basin forwards like so. That's a little bit better. Yeah, they usually have like a ridge underneath the basin for where the pedestal sits into, but this one doesn't seem to have it, so we're just going to have to try and eye it up. I don't think that is too bad at all, just there. So let's stand back and have a look. Yeah, that's not too bad at all. Just got to straighten that tap up a little bit. But yeah, let's get this leveled through then, mark it up, and get it bolted into position. So we've cut these tails off. We're just going to put two little stabs up now for two isolation valves to go on. And we just solder on two elbows. And then once the isolation valves are on, we can get them turned off, get the water on, and just test this toilet that my camera's neatly perched on top of. So let's just get them looking upright. We'll get these soldered up. There we go, give them a little bit of a wipe over, get rid of any old flux that's on it, stop it going greeny, bluey, yellow. So we'll get two isolation valves on there and we'll get the water back on and give it a test. So I've got two isolating valves on there, got the water back on, so let's now turn the water on and give it a test. So it's filling up inside here. We can adjust the height of the ball valve, fill it up and give it a bit of a check. So just tweak this Thomas Dudley ball valve on them little fittings at the side there, just wind the float up, alter it there so it's just below the overflow on the flush valve. Yeah, that's all well and good in there. So that's the toilet done. We'll get the lid back on and we can concentrate now getting the basin bolted up to the wall. So that's the basin into position now, and as you can see, we worked out the flexes off that mixer tap, work perfectly onto the top of there. So we'll just get this one on this side, straightforward enough, get it screwed up. And then, as you can see, the bottom of the trap, we'll just put an elbow into there, straight into the bottom of the S-trap. I've already said we'll get some Talon covers to go over there, and that'll finish the basin off. And then we can look at getting the shower screen on, getting the shower on, and sorting the bath panel out. So that's the basin in now, connected up, the waste's connected up. As you can see down the back, I'm just going to leave it a couple of hours for the solvent to go off on the waste, while we concentrate now on the shower screen going on. So I'm going to go downstairs, grab it, unpack it, and then get it into position and see exactly how we're going to fit this curved shower screen around this bath. Right, we're onto the shower screen now. As I always say with most things, to be honest, always lay it out so you can see what fittings you've got and what fittings go where via the instructions. So as always, most shower screens measure 10 to 15 mil off the side. I've already marked it, and what I'll do, I'll put a little bead of silicone across that back edge before we silicone the rest of it, just for where this profile is going to sit. It'll sit there. I've already marked it, so that will sit up right there. We'll get that bolted to the wall, and then we can begin getting the actual door on, because this one has got a couple of little cam lever fittings that go on, that as the door comes out, I think from what I can tell, it lifts up slightly, so it comes up and down onto the rim of the bath. So we'll get the profile on and then work out what's going on with the door. So that's the holes drilled down, where the profile is going to go. Now this is quite controversial. Now I personally have always put a little bead of silicone down the back edge of a profile before it's gone up, just to make sure it's sealed. But as we all know, people do things differently. That's how I do it. Plus it holds it in place. We'll get the 4 screws into it now, and then that is bolted on, and we can begin getting this door in. So we're beginning to get there now. I've just put a little chrome cover on there and a 4-inch one covering the waste. We've got the chrome caps on there. I've had to order the 1.25 one. I didn't have one in plumb base. I've just put the shower hose on and put the riser. It's just a universal riser they've got up there with an extra long hose. That's how they wanted it, just on them taps. So I'll put that all in, screen's all on. What I'm going to do now is silicone around the outside, get it all siliconed up, silicone the front of the screen going up there, little beading on the back of the bath. I'll also put a little bit around the bottom of the basin around there. These bath panels are an absolute pain. So I spoke to Dave Bishop, my carpenter, who we've done the last job with, and he's going to come and fit this Monday morning for me, because I just absolutely hate them. I'd rather chuck him a few quid to come and do it, save him pulling what's left of my hair out. So let's finish getting this siliconed up. We're going to do it in white, just because I think the contrast with the bath and the tiles will work better with white. So we'll get this in and see what it looks like. As always, when you silicone, these silicone tools are an absolute must. They're like, I think, about 6-7 quid from Screwfix or Tool Station. It just gives you a little bit better of an arc on the side. So got the silicone, we'll run round, we'll get it all done and see what it looks like in a minute. Right, there we go. This bathroom is completely finished now, except for the bath panel. That, as I say, Dave is coming first thing Monday morning to fix that, because I hate bath panels. So basin's in, toilet's in, all siliconed in, nice. Bath's in, siliconed in, showers on, up there. I say that's the riser rail they wanted. They wanted it to come straight off the tap, so they've got that. Shower screen there. We've got the door to put back on, so we're not 100% finished yet. But this bathroom has been a little bit testing. Remember what we had going on behind there. This side of the room, as I said at the beginning, is going to have a door here, and they're going to have it as shelving, and all the front's going to be built up, and they're going to have a towel rail on this face here, and they'll have a little rad inside. That's what those 2 heating pipes are there for. We have got underfloor heating matting under here, but that's not going to get connected up till that boarding is done. But I think, as I've said already, there is a load of building work going on anyway out the back, so we have got another bathroom to do the other side of that wall at a later date. But this is this one as good as done. So I hope you've enjoyed the whole 4-part process. Is it 4 parts? Might even be 5, I can't remember. But the whole process of getting this bathroom in, the stress we've had of all that pipe work that was around the back and altering it, but as you can see, it looks a million times better now. So if you've liked it, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, all that sort of jazz, and I will catch you on the next one.